Earlier in the week over in Japan, we had Fulton Inoue. It should have been a close contest, but I guess Inoue didn't get the scripts, man. It was a masterclass performance. He was flawless, pretty much. He just dominated from start to finish. Alex, yep. Go first, mate. What did you make of the performance?
When we did our preview and prediction, I really thought that Fulton, with his athleticism, with him being the bigger man, mixed in with that, I thought it would give him. I would thought it was going to give Inoue problems. Moving up weight classes, regardless if it's 3 pounds, 5 pounds, 14 pounds, it's a difficult thing. There's other guys you're going that have been in the division already that have settled, and you just don't know how you're going to react with 8 ounce gloves. You can spar whoever you want, but until you get in there, you just don't know. And we found out that Fulton didn't know that Inoue is the man, is a monster, and that was just from the beginning. That first jab to the body, you could just tell, like, wow, this guy's fast. He's faster than Fulton. Fulton's not seeing what's coming in, and as it went, you saw that Inoue was truly, truly a pound for pound fighter, which a lot of people were unsure. A lot of people felt like, well, who did he fight? And if you didn't know Inoue was really top level, it's not because you didn't know the fighters' names. It's because you weren't paying attention. So that was a dominant performance. Fulton, I'm not listen. If they did that fight, in Philadelphia and Las Vegas, if he was there in Japan for 3 months, I don't think it would have made a difference. I just think Inoue has shown he's that special, and I just don't see anyone else threatening him around those weight classes. 122, they said they're going to do undisputed with Tapales. People are talking about Ribisi at 126. I mean, I think he conquers all of them. I'm sure someone else will mention it later, but I mean, he'd have to go way out of his weight class, I think, for a real challenge. But Inoue, definitely on the pound for pound. Looked like he was going to be pound for pound number one for a while until another fight happened later, right?
Yeah, he might have had the shortest reign of all time, possibly in that spot on those people's. Yeah, Josh, give us your thoughts, mate.
Yeah, what's excuse me, what's most impressive about this is not just the fact that in a way got the victory via stoppage, is how he went about it. It's just a systematic breakdown of Stephen Fulton, and I, along with many, thought it would be a competitive fight going into the contest, but when you break it down from a round by round basis, it really wasn't competitive. And in a way won each round clearly, so there wasn't any discrepancy, anything of that nature. It was just pretty much in a way all day, and I think it just showed he's arrived on this match stage. He's fought a couple of times in the United States, but he was able to, of course, do this in Japan. But I think it just speaks to how special a fighter he is, and I think it'll add to, or at least knock on wood, I would hope, more wanting to see him fight just anywhere or all over the place outside of even Japan. Get him back to the United States again. It'll be a treat to see him in person, things of that nature. And he's in a position where, in some sense, he can dictate things just given what he's been able to do thus far. But pretty much at all steps, he's destroyed multiple champions. And save for that fight of the year situation with Nonito Donaire, there really hasn't been any points in which he was in any real trouble or anything of that nature. And even in that one, he took some cuts, but was never, in position to be knocked out or anything. But that being said, he's just continued to improve. He's on top of his game, certainly between one and two as far as pound for pound is concerned. And I think the sky's the limit for him. As Alex mentioned, he even mentioned 126. You know, thus far, it seems like that may be something that Inoue can do. He can get to 126, and from all indications, his power may very well carry there to 126. So I say the sky's the limit for sure, and hopefully we get to see him in there with one of these top-notch guys at 126. Robeisy Ramirez was mentioned. That seems like one that can be certainly built up. Ramirez, he has a title now, and top rank, they've gradually worked him in the mix. They're both top ranked, so it seems like it's something that could most certainly happen. So I look forward to that happening at some point down the road. But overall, just excellent performance by Inoue.
Yeah, agreed. We spoke obviously before the fight, making predictions and such. I think we all said that. I can't remember. Did we all say Inoue probably would win? I think we all did.
I had Fulton.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you had Inoue.
Yeah, I did for some reason, but obviously memory served me wrong there. But yeah, this was a fight where it was supposed to be a real test, wasn't it, for Inoue? He's he's passed the eye test before. We've seen him. He's the monster. He looks great over in Japan, knocking everyone out. And then this was supposed to be can he actually face a very decent and kind of slick boxer? And he outboxed him, and then got him, blasted him out of there. It was very impressive. So yeah, in that regard, he passed that test. He shot up the rankings on everyone's pound for pound lists, and rightly so probably. And like we said, he can go up probably several divisions. Possibly his power will probably carry him. There's lots of comments on Twitter like, "What's his sky? Where's his limit?" And jokingly, people are saying right up to cruiserweight and such. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see just how far Inoue can go. He's great to watch, and we will keep watching him, and we'll keep reporting on him in the future, depending on where he goes next.
Hey, I just wanted to add that on his way up, of course, it would have certainly been awesome if we would have gotten a chance to see him in there with Juan Francisco Estrada or Chocolatito, because those would have been some excellent matchups, but that was kind of missed or skipped or didn't happen, of course. But that would have been excellent.
Yeah, I guess there's always going to be potential cases where maybe they've not quite fought absolutely everyone could have done, but it's going along quite nicely, and Fulton was definitely no gimme, so props to him for that. And I'm sure he'll continue to impress us at the higher weight classes as well. So that is all good. I can't for the life of me remember who was on the undercard. Oh, it was Robeisy, wasn't it? He was on the undercard of that. Any comments on that one, Alex?
No, I mean, the dude he was fighting was a 39-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was coming off of maybe, one recent fight or, a little bit of activity. So Robeisy did exactly what is expected. His nickname is El Tren, the train. So he ran that dude over.
Yeah, fair enough. I didn't catch that one at all. Did you have any comments on that one, Josh? Did you see the victory?
Hey, Robeisy did his thing, as Alex mentioned. And Robeisy, he has a championship and all, and he is very much a fighter that is still growing and learning the craft, so it'll be interesting to see him in there with the likes of an Inoue and all, because you can just tell with Robeisy, just based on his last few fights, he's made some great strides, but he's not quite there at that point where I believe they ultimately see him being, in terms of one of the elites pound for pounds potentially. And I think that a lot of that will be contingent on kind of how he's moved here moving forward. But I think he will be competitive in any contest with an elite fighter. It's just that you can just tell that there are probably still some things that he needs to button up and correct, especially on the defensive side. So that's all I like.
Okay, cool. That's all good then. I think that's that one covered. Before we just do move on, I'll say congratulations to you both, and also the other Americans who was hollering on Twitter about how early they were up for the boxing. Congratulations on that.